Okay, Rebbe, so let's start like this. With the sheets, we have an informal group, it'll be great. And this, we'll start like this. We're going to learn about Hallel on Chanukah. We're going to start off with some questions about women, because it's always interesting anyway, to learn about women. And that hopefully will open our vistas to the nature of Hallel on Chanukah, and perhaps some of the important parts of the nature of Chanukah itself. The Rambam tells us, let's start with the Mishnah, and the source sheet that it's not so hard to make. The Mishnah says in Sechet Sukkah that before the Mishnah of Sechet Sukkah, we know that there are many mitzvahs that we do that one person says, and then it's Yod Motzi everyone, right? Theoretically, Shema Nesra can be the way of Tzibur, or those Machos Talim about it, and Hallel is one of those mitzvahs. Classically speaking, and whoever learns Sechet Sukkah in detail knows there are even very specific deals of what parts. There are different parts of Hallel you didn't say yourself, only the Chazan said. And certainly the whole thing can be done as like a Shemek Ka'ona thing. He says, and we respond. Most of it, the Chazan said, and the people responded either by saying Hallelujah and stuff like that. You know, they would say different phrases after each sentence, and that was where you fulfilled your Hallel. Now Hallel is a chiyuv. It's a chiyuv on each individual. How do I know? Because if you don't go to well, it can be a bracha and it can be a tzibur. You're saying, but each person says it's a good raya. Okay, good. The way we do it, we say each person says his own bracha and halal. Okay, that's good proof. Fun, great proof.
But we just say Ashkenazim and Sfardim don't do it, right?
Incorrect.
No?
You talking about Rosh Chodesh?
No.
We have to press that back. When do we say Hallel? So we know there are 18 days. There are 18 days that we say Hallel. Okay? If you go back to Toronto, it'll be how many? 21. It'll be 21. That's what the Gemara says. And that's a good math. I can't add 3. But the Gemara tells us it's 21 days. Okay? The Gemara goes through each of the days. What are the days we say Hallel? All the days of Chanukah. Now, all the days of Sukkot, including Shmini Atzeret, all the days of Shavuot, which is 1, and the first day of Pesach. Okay? And the Gemara there in Masechet Arachin answers all these questions. Why not this day? Why not this day? Why not this day? Why not Rosh Hashanah? Why not Yom Kippur? Why not the rest of the days of Pesach? And why not Rosh Chodesh? Okay? And why not Shabbat? All those things the Gemara has an answer for. So basically, the Gemara says you don't say Hallel on Rosh Chodesh. Okay? Comes along Rav. He goes to Bavel and he sees people saying Hallel on Rosh Chodesh. And it says, the Gemara says in Tainus and in Megillah, the Gemara says Chashav, the Lav Sakinu. He wanted to stop them. What are you doing? How are you saying Hallel? What's going on here? We don't say Hallel. You don't know the Gemara in Erechim. You had to stop. And then what happened? You saw that they skipped. He said, they're skipping part of Hallel. Shema, you know what? It's only a minhag. They're saying it is a minhag. Fine, okay, minhag of the same day. Let them do the minhag of Hallel. But that is like a Rosh Chodesh, where the Gemara explicitly says that you don't do Hallel. And therefore, there's a whole discussion, a big discussion, which we're not getting into right now. That's really not a topic. Is do you say a bracha on a minhag? On the one hand, the Gemara says so. If you don't say bracha on a minhag, it talks about the minhag of hitting the Arabas, right? On the other hand. Tosot say, they look at the story and they say, one second. If Rav was in shul, we think Rav gets shul late, he was to get there on time, right? So he would have noticed that they didn't say a bracha, then he would sort of get a hint that it's not a real mitzvah, so what's going on? So it must be they said a bracha. So Tosot has a reinterpretation sort of that idea that we don't say bracha on a minhag. He says, if that minhag is to hit some leaves on the floor, said you don't say minhag on that. It's like a ma'aseh chavata, but there's a minhag to do a mitzvah, a bona fide mitzvah, that we're just borrowing that mitzvah and doing it every time, then you would say bracha on it. What's Tos's big proof? If Chaim goes back, what's he going to do those 3 days? Yom Tisheni. Yom Tisheni tells us, Yom Tisheni is only a minhag. How do I know that? Because the Gemara says, minhag avateichem v'yedechem, and the whole thing, the whole nature.
That's the famous Gemara also about Yom Tisheni, where the Gemara brings a raya that the Chachamim, because how you can make it mitzvah d'Rabbanan. I can say Hashem Kedishana Mitzvah.
Yeah, right.
So it says that the reason why is because by Yom Tov, I don't remember where's the Gemara Shabbos. It talks about what the raya for. These are Rabbi Chanukah sigis. That's what was the still get there?
Right. So the Gemara says, I don't remember exactly the Sheni part, Okay?
It's in the
Recording.
yeah.
Okay? Now, so, I don't think it's necessary. Okay. Thank you very much. Just put it over there. Thanks.
That's all?
Okay. Okay.
And that's the same as Rambam. It says that when you do something, if you're over a Darabanan, you're over a Daraisa.
Right. Correct. That part you're correct about. I don't remember the understanding part. The Gemara, the source of saying the bracha. Let's define our terms over here. Avraham is talking about this very important source in Chanukah, which has to do with saying a bracha on a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. Okay? That's the question. Why can't I say bracha on a mitzvah d'Rabbanan? I should logically say only bracha on a d'oraita, because I say Asher Kishan Tzivanu Al, whatever it might be, fill in the blank. How can I say Asher Kishan Tzivanu Ladlik Ner Chanukah or Ner Shel Chanukah? Because God didn't. I don't want to say this, but God never heard of Chanukah. I mean, before it happened, whatever. Of course, he heard of it, but that's a philosophical question. We'll leave that one out. But it's not. Actually, it's not in the Chumash. It's not in the Torah. What's going on? So the Gemara says two answers. One is from the bracha, from the pasuk of Lo Tasur. The pasuk Shalom where you get it. Interestingly enough, I had a whole discussion. One of the alumni that I should have pushed you guys to come to, that we had a whole long discussion about this topic a few months ago, was had to do with this idea, and I pointed him out. The Yerushalmi says that when you do a mitzvah d'Rabbanan, you don't say the specific mitzvah. Or in this case, Al B'Hadlik Ner Chanukah, whatever it may be, or on Tzayadayim, or on Mitzvah Zera, all of Mitzvah D'Rabbanan, you say Al Mitzvah Zakinin. It's more of a general thing, because when you're kind of Mitzvah D'Rabbanan, you're basically doing the thing like, oh, it says Lo Tasur V'Darei V'Yisrael, I'm following what the rabbis are saying, but the specific mice is not a Maisa Mitzvah. We don't hold that way. We hold that we can say it on the Maisa Mitzvah, because you connect the dots, and I can definitely say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to do this mitzvah, and I can say Hashem Yisrael Mitzvah, but that's the mitzvah d'Rabbanan. We're talking about a mitzvah of a bracha on a minhag. Now, all this is about what Dani said. The Sfarim don't say brachas. What Dani meant was as follows. By the Sfarim that he knows from Vacharon or wherever, you say they don't say a bracha on Hallel on Rosh Chodesh. That's the Rambam Shita, and that's how the Sfarim hold most of it. However, if it's Hallel of Sukkot, first day of Pesach, etc., and the 8 days of Hanukkah, where the bracha is Meikar Hadin, okay? The bracha is Meikar Hadin, now what's the din? And the Sfarim Ashkenazim are equal. Now, I'm very glad that Dani used that word now, D'oraita. We have to investigate that. Is Hallel ever a mitzvah D'oraita? So that is a very interesting machlokas Rishonim, Gaonim and Rishonim really, where we all know the Rambam wrote a book of mitzvah, right? And Sefer Mitzvah the Rambam. And before he gets to the counting mitzvah, he has the Shorashim, right? All the Shorashim of the mitzvah. And one of the things he says, you don't count mitzvahs d'Rabbanan, right? And he says, I can't believe that the Bahag, that the he doesn't know anything about it. Somebody might. The Bahag or the thing, and all my papers. Okay, the counted was Mona Chanukah. It was Mona saying Hallel. No, it was Mona saying Hallel is a mitzvah. How can you come along and say that these Mizmorim that King David wrote are going to be a mitzvah d'oraisa? It didn't even happen yet. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. How can it be a mitzvah d'oraisa? The Rambam says, therefore, Hallel, the mitzvah Hallel is midrabanan. Okay, got that?
Yeah, but that's not for these Mizmorim. The idea of saying Hallel.
Oh, so 1 second. So it comes on the Ramban, and he says, Rambam, I don't understand. This is your criticism? You come and you count, using the poetic license over here, but you count the mitzvah of tefillah midoraita, okay? And who made it? Anshe Knesset Gdola. What's going on over here? So you explain very beautifully that the text is d'Rabbanan, but the mitzvah to praise is d'oraita. You can say the same thing over here. Okay, so that's the discussion. That's the interesting thing. But the Rambam happens to hold that Hallel in general is only mitzvah only d'Rabbanan. Okay, and the others, the Bahag I think says no, it's actually a mitzvah d'oraita. In any case, it says in the mitzvah in the Sechet Sukkah, it says Vishoyed. If you have a woman or a child saying Hallel for you, you have to repeat word for word. Whereas if you have the famous Chazan of Rami Summers with his guitar, without his guitar, leading us in Hallel, you don't have to say all the words. Why? He's Motzi us. Maybe you should play guitar, you won't hear all the words. He says all the words, and we just say, we answer intermittently, exactly according to the Gemara in Sukkah, describing different times, different whatever, and we have a remnant of it when we say Hodel Hashem each time, Hodel Hashem each time. It's a remnant of the old way they used to do it. In any case, in the old days, the guy was the chaz and was Motzi everybody else. But a woman and a child and a chayava, says the Mishnah, therefore you got to repeat word for word. And it says Tava Meir. What's Tava Meir? I mean, should be cursed. Why should it be cursed? So Rashi says, there's also a sheet over there. He says, what do you mean? Yeah. You're obviously an ignoramus if you need a woman to say for you. You're not going to, right? So it's not good. You should learn it. Learn it doesn't mean you have to know every Ketos HaChoshen. You have to know the words of Hallel. Not such a big deal. So that's not such a cool thing. Okay. Now, it's a pretty straightforward din. It's a Mishnah. Well, we don't expect any machlokes. The Rambam brings this din down. Now, where is Hilchos Hallel? Where do you find Hilchos Hallel in the Rambam? Hilchos Tefillah, no? No, Hilchos Chanukah, of course. Right? Hilchos Chanukah. So the Rambam brings down Hilchos Chanukah. Perek Gimel Achayid Daled. He said, listen, Im Hayam, he brings down this Mishnah. I'm required to Hallel, oh, Eved, oh, Isha, excuse me, Katan, oh, Eved, oh, Isha, oh, now, Chayam, Ashin. Remember, you repeat word for word, paraphrasing the Mishnah. Word for word, B'chol Hallel, and that's the Rambam brings it down. Now, we have a sefer over here called the Binyan Shlomo. Binyan Shlomo is our Shlomo HaKohen in Vilna, okay? And he asked the following questions, just listen. And this had to do with what Donnie said before. Okay, so it's had to put up the rest of the bottom and so forth. What's the nature of Hallel on a Yom Tov? And what's the nature of Hallel on Chanukah? Well, you'd say, why do you think a woman would be parted from Hallel? Why shouldn't a woman have to say Hallel? Why is the Mishnah? Very good. This is not grammar. Well, let's think about this one. What about Chanukah? Is Chanukah, let's say, lighting candles on Chanukah? Is this on grammar?
We said that they're involved in this.
So why do women have to do it? Ah, very good. So the Gemara says, Tani, what's one of these? Yeah? Beautiful. So he says, what's the answer? If you say that a woman is not chayav in Hallel, that's like a second sukkah. Because that's a regular, it's all dinner of Yontif, right? She's not chayav in Hallel. But on Chanukah, she's chayav after him some days. So just like that's like Hanukkah candles, women have to light Hanukkah. Yes, a woman is chayav in their Chanukah.
She's married, then
a woman is chayav in her Chanukah. Usually, if a woman's married, she's getting with the husband. But the husband goes with the wife, and she's not married. She's chayav. Father, let's say she's a real modern woman, and she lives by herself. Or let's say she's not modern, 90 years old, whatever it is. Her husband died 60 years ago, whatever, 30 years ago, whatever it is. She's supposed to light, she has to light candles, yeah?
so why can't she be mostly men? That's the question?
She can be mostly men, there's no question about it. Like Gemara said she can be mostly men. Oh, so we must be right, exactly, that's the question. Just like we know the woman can be mostly men. You guys know this. You travel on business. Your wife never was mostly when there was Hanukkah. I used to travel on business every Hanukkah. Which business, To the old, to the Seilat. Okay? So, it's business. What do you think? Oh, it's a pleasure to sit in the I can't record it. To sit in the lobby, make sure you guys don't escape from the hotel. Now, so says, in any case, so what do you do? So your wife can be, that's what it says in the Gemara. You guys know that. Maybe what?
If you're at work also.
Or if you're at work, stop if you're at work. That's a question, what's the better thing to do? Is it better to wait till the late time? That's depends how late you come home from work. As if you're, that's a judgment call exactly how to handle it. Some people are very uptight about lighting exactly right time. Exactly as soon as it gets dark. I was never super duper makbid on that. I mean, if it happened to be home, it's fine, but I know it was crazy. But some families are super makbid. If the husband's coming home late for work, the wife will light at the right time. Many families say it's better, wait till the father comes home, the mother comes home, when the kids come home, and he lights it, and there's more possibilities, I think. Now, but on the other hand, they have one of these crazy jobs, the father comes home at 11 o'clock at night, the kids are sleeping already, then the mother should do it with the kids, then for sure, the kids don't listen to Chanukah, whatever. So, okay, those are slight judgment call issues, but fine. The maker it in, the husband is yosing if he's not home. That's what the Gemara says. But without going into details now, but So they should be chayav. That's our kasha. Shlomo Cohen. We don't know why doesn't a woman have to say Hallel, and if she does have to say Hallel, then what? Then she can be also the man. Why does he have to read it word for word? Kasha. Okay, what do you guys say?
Don't we have the same question about Megillah and Purim?
Explain.
Why shouldn't she be able to be Yotzei the man in Megillah?
Okay, that's a good question. It's not, your assumption is questionable. There's a machloket. I mean, if you just read the Gemara, it sounds like woman can be Moshe man in Megillah, and that's how the Rambam says. However, Tosot say, oh diuk, in the Lashon, that maybe a woman's not chayevet fully like a man, maybe she's not chayevet in Shmiya, and not in Kriya, or maybe she's a trade rabban, man's chad rabban, whole story.
Maybe the halal isn't for the same nace that the women.
Yeah, very interesting. So Dana is already suggesting one thing. Who says this question is assuming everything in Chanukah is one unit? Maybe we could distinguish between different components. Yafeh. Very good. Okay? So let's see
something didn't halal is a different kind of din, meaning you're saying the halal in itself has a different siyas than
okay, good. So halal is kind of independent din, okay? Revising things are going to come already. You want to call them, tell them not to come? Or should come later?
We're learning 4 people's.
Why not?
Why is it? Fine.
No,
okay, why not? Okay, good.
It's your brother-in-law, right?
Make it more harder.
Okay.
Don't tell my sister, but.
Okay. In any case,
maybe more will come.
There could be some guys still stuck in traffic. Okay. There's a possibility in here. I knew some of the tricks, so it worked out. What?
Abirim thing is tonight.
I don't want to say I'm really recording. It's terrible. These are the guys that have killed us in the Crusades, and that's what they're celebrating over here. It's crazy. And then they make us traffic. Not only that, they kill us, they make us traffic.
Is that Rosh here?
I don't know which was worse. Yeah, what's worse? I'd rather have the Haredi guy. What's he going to do? We'll have Sidon and a Tish. Okay, he'll make us traffic. Okay. Now, okay. So we have
more food.
we have two timbers over here. It's like this. So Donnie already threw out the word before Doraisa. So when is Halal be Doraisa? When is not be Doraisa? So we had the Machlokes Rishonim we mentioned before. But regardless of that, there's a very nice, interesting Chatam Sofer, and this someplace in my papers.
It's on the sheet.
It's on the sheet. It's on the sheet that I made. The sheet is here. It's on the sheet's here. Okay, it's not here someplace. The sheet is here, and again, if I don't find the sheet, we'll resort to paraphrasing. But the Chatam Sofer is as follows. When you experience, when someone who experience a miracle, especially big miracles, we get Klaios and so forth, there is a chiyuv min Torah. No ice for me. No ice for me. Here we go. At least. Thanks. Okay. The Chatam Sofer says, listen, it seems to me that being Koveh is very important, Chatam Sofer. It's very nogea to, as you'll see in a minute, to celebrating or commemorating or recognizing miracles that happen. Kviyat Yom Moed v'Yom Asiyat Nes u'Kal V'chomer D'Oraita. To commemorate Kviyat Yom Moed, to commemorate a day of Moed. If there's a day or there's a Nes, is a Kal V'chomer D'Oraita. What's the Kal V'chomer D'Oraita? It's from the Gemara says Masechet Megillah. In Mishibu L'Geula, we said Shira and Kal V'chomer from Mavet L'Chaim. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says what about Purim? I don't say Hala. Anyway, so he says, therefore, Lefi Ani is Daita, Lefi Zef, so, Yom Purim and Chanukah D'Oraita him. Says Chamtzot Chasam Sefer, Purim and Chanukah D'Oraisa. It was the Rabbanan. We had no problem with Gemara. What's the problem? So he says, like, if I would say, it's like this, Achmal Asopahem. Exactly how are you going to commemorate? That's not the right. Okay? Im L'Shloch Manot, you do something, L'Adlik Neirot, L'Adlik Zneris, oh, L'Asot Zechar Acher, do some other kind of thing, that's the Rabbanan. But to ignore it is what? Is missing out on a Doraita Chiyuv. V'ha'over ve'eno says Shum Zeich L'mei Chanukah Purim. You should ignore Chanukah Purim. Let's say you're a pacifist. You're against Purim. You say, the Jews killed out all those Persians. Not good. I'm against Purim. I'm not celebrating Purim. Then according to Chacham Sofer, you're not just not fulfilling the mitzvah D'Rabbanan, you're not fulfilling the mitzvah D'Oraita. Because you're ignoring the whole miracle that we had.
So how are you Yotze the mitzvah D'Oraita in that case?
By commemorating.
But it's commemorating.
What do you
mean? Shloch Manos, or Megillah,
those are
or something.
We're saying it's because
Right, but that's fine. A million things are like that in the Torah. Now you want to get me started?
If you say I believe in Purim, that's enough?
I know, I have to believe me, I have to do something. Listen, I give an example, but it'll take me to the whole Tashir to give an example. I'll give you one simple example. The Ramban, I'm not going to adjust this now, but the Ramban says that in Parashat Emor, that it says that there's a mitzvah to say Shabbaton. How do you do this mitzvah to say? Not only that, he quotes the Medrash. It says, Einli ala Malacha, what about Shvut? And it says Shabbaton. Shvut is D'Rabbanan. What's going on here? So the Rambam describes a day of Shabbos where you didn't violate one single Malacha D'Oraisa, and still the day was devoid of anything special, any Kedusha, anything spiritual. So each and every D'Rabbanan is D'Rabbanan, but the whole Rabbanan and the Michlal are giving you filling the day with what the Torah wants. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing over here. Yes, the Rabbanan said, we want you to read Megillah. And if you, Avrami Summers, decide that on Purim, instead of doing Mishloach Manos, you're going to, I don't know, hang up a big sign and say, Purim is great, I don't know what exactly, or you say I'm going to wear a tachposet instead of doing that, then perhaps you fulfilled the mitzvah d'oraisa by somehow doing that, but you've missed out on the chiyuv midrabanan. But if you totally ignore it, then you didn't even fulfill, you're missing out on mitzvah d'oraisa.
I just understand the gather of like what's the d'oraisa here. I mean, how do you like?
The d'oraisa is to commemorate, to show through some kind of commemoration, to show your hakaras ha'tov, to show your hakaras miracle, hanes.
So based on the Kal V'chomer, it's in the Kal V'chomer.
Yes. Okay. If you don't do anything, it's beautiful. Okay. Here's the rub. V'efshar kriyat halel Megillah. Now, why is the Hallel Megillah? Because the Gemara says one of the answers is that Megillah Daf Yudalid kriyata zo halela. That logically speaking, follow the Cheshbon, we have to say also. So either saying the Hallel or saying the Megillah, which is the substitute. Beautiful. Here also, you got to say Shira. Maybe Pedafka, maybe you got to say it. Maybe you got to say something. Hallel, fine, Megillah, find something. So maybe I'm suggesting some sefer that the Hallel Chanukah is d'oraisa. Very interesting. Okay, very good. So he says maybe the Bahag is right. We talk about the Bahag and the Rambam and talk about whether Hallel be d'oraisa. This is maybe a source. Maybe the Bahag is right against the Rambam, at least on Chanukah. Okay, that's what the Chacham Sofer suggests. Maybe not. Should I count as independent mitzvah? Yes or no? Whatever. That's a suggestion, and I believe that's very interesting. Oh, so we have in Sefer Klei Chemda. I forgot, like 150 years ago or something. So he suggests as follows. Like this. First teretz. What it seems, Lias Daiti, it seems, listen, if I said some sefer that we just saw, that it's the din of Hallel is d'oraisa, because the Kal V'chomer, as we said, L'fizeh l'hodol l'hodol b'chanukah din d'oraita, so we say this. would that be a reason for the woman, yes, to be Motzi Man or not to be Motzi Man? So he wants to say, Shabbat Shalom et Isha in Yichol, Hosi Anashim, as he quotes, it's Torah and so forth, we got a Mikra Megillah. So there, he makes a tzushtal, the comparison to Mikra Megillah. But you could say like this, you could say, as follows. The concept of Av, Hein, Hayu, Bato, Anes is really a the Rabbanan. We apply to this as the Rabbanan. We don't apply to this as the Raisa. The Tosfos discussed it. They asked this question. They suggest that as an answer. Why don't we say okay. Find a water fountain. Okay. So why don't we say? Why don't we say? So we don't say Alvin says in a mitzvah d'oraita. So you could say, listen, if it's a mitzvah d'oraita, so then let's apply the regular rules. It's a mitzvah on grama, so woman is patur. In the mitzvah d'rabbanan, we say what? Apem is on this.
You always say that by Chanukah and Purim.
And Dalakosas.
Oh.
Those are 3 parts. Okay. Now, what about Neros Chanukah? What about Neros Chanukah? There, when we can be Motzi Man, right? So, if we want to stretch it, I think what he wants to say, he has like 2 lines over here. He has to expand a little bit. Okay? You have to say, well, if it's Neros Chanukah, it's Rabbanan. And if we say it's a Kim D'Oraisa, and it's also it's Man Grama, so she can't be Motzi. So he wants to say, she's called a Baal Chov Gemura, even though it's only out Neros Hanes. So he says Neros Chanukah. You can't say that it's Man Grama, and he quotes this Pnei Yoshua. He says maybe since you go to Shliach, that calls Man Grama. He quotes a Pnei Yoshua. It's an interesting thing. I'll just share the svar with you. You can either take it or leave it. I have a feeling that everybody's going to love the svar. Tosa, I'll tell you who's not going to love the svar. Tosa. So okay, since this video on Pnei Yoshua. It says like this: the Gemara Masechet Megillah, Masechet Kiddushin, is discussing who has to do a Brit Milah. You have to Brit Milah for your son, right? The man has to do it for his son, not the mother, right? Why? So the Gemara says, Kashetz Alto below Alta. Tosa says, what do you need a pasuk for? Say it's Man Grama, Brit Milah, it's Man Grama, right? The 8th day.
I'm saying, but it constantly goes until you have to do it. I mean, it's not necessarily.
Tosa there is very good. Okay, very good. So it's an answer. Yeah, it starts off the 8th day, but once the 8th day happens, you keep going. But then what about it? Night, day, night. So that's the whole question. So it says it's a problem. It's only usually we say this is only day and night, and it is Man Grama.
I think we learned
that. It says maybe with not what?
I think we learned that together 13 years ago.
What we learned Kedushin? Ah, very good, excellent. I don't remember what I did this year.
I don't remember either.
Okay, very good. So then Tosa says, well, maybe there's an opinion that says that once the Milah Shalom is man, not the 8th day, you do it at night also. Even though we don't know about that opinion, maybe this Gemara goes that opinion, whatever it is. So, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, Tosa raises this issue. Why do you say, when you need a puzzle, why do you say that Bris Milah is Mitzvah on ground? So the Pnei Yoshua says, and that Gemara, this is also on the sheet, Pnei Yoshua says that, I have an answer. Listen, what do you do with Bris Milah? I mean, again, we'll put our glasses up here. What do you do? You have boys, yeah? You have boys, you have 100 boys. 6, 5, 100. Okay. So, what did you do for your Bris Milahs? You did it? You cut?
I didn't have. I appointed the shaliach.
You appointed a shaliach. Oh. Now, did you have appointed a shaliach during the day?
Did I have to appoint him during the day?
Can you call up at night and say, I have a bris next Tuesday?
Yeah.
I remember at the time, I remember the Mullah said this, like, you're going to be appointing me this, he has the whole thing, I don't know.
And let's say you're not going to be there the day of the bris, you're going to appoint a few days before, let's say you have, tickets to some, whatever, the World Series or something, basketball game, you're not going to visit, whatever it might be, yeah? There's a story, they say the story. That Rav Korn On Chanukah was learning about this time when he was there, and his wife they got a telegram, his wife had a baby. He said, should I go for the bris? He goes, well, you have to go for the mom. But anyway,
they have a Skype. It won't be the best, doesn't matter where you go.
You can't cut it. Anyway, fine. So anyway, the Pnei Yoshua says, since you don't have to do it anyway, you're not going to do it anyway. So the same phone call you can make in the day, you can make at night. It's not Zman Grama. So the same thing with a woman. A woman also, it's not Zman Grama if you don't do it yourself. You have to do it yourself. That's Zman Grama. If you go to the Shlech, it's not Zman Grama because you're not limited when you can perform. Now, what I will say, this is a kind of bullish type answer over here, but basically what he's saying is as follows. The teretz is as follows. He has an interesting idea. The first teretz that's offered is that a woman, if it's a mitzvah of the mitzvah of Chanukah, or the mitzvah of Purim, or whatever it is, the mitzvahs d'Rabbanan, you're going to say, Apein, the mitzvahs that we're going to make as classified based on some sefer as deraisa, well, then we'll apply the regular clause 9 grama. We don't say Apein Nes. Okay, you can have to think about that as far if you convinced us, but okay. Then, so that's why the woman can't be most of the man in Hallel in Chanukah. Okay? Because it's 9 grama. Fine. Despite the fact of Apein Nes. What about Chanukah? Chanukah, the name of Chanukah, he's suggesting is not Zman Grama. Now, how is it not Zman Grama? So in Chanukah, I don't know, that's a suggestion. Okay. Well, I guess because you point your shliach 20 out whatever.
So you can't point a shliach for Hallel?
No, penalty. Here's the thing. I can point a shliach for Hallel. What are you talking about? You can have a shliach. I mean, I don't think I'm Hallel. So doesn't use a b'shayit dan. He's right. You point a shliach because you can want to say like a chazan, but you have to be there and listen. Very good. Because it says, Danny's right. It says when the chazan is the shliach is the shliach tzibur. Right? It says shluchot. The Mishnah says the word shluchot l'motov dafka chazan and shul. Okay, but it's not the same kind of shlichus. You going home and whatever and watching television, if you ever know what that is, and let the guy do the bris milah on your son, or let the guy check your house for chametz or whatever it might be. Okay, very good, interesting idea. Okay, very interesting. On this particular point,
one second, she could be a shaliach for lighting candles.
She could be a shliach and a shaliach.
No, she
could be all shliach, everything. She could do everything. The other possibility, and this in general is an important point. There is Chanukah, which requires. I saw some stuff over here that maybe there is a discussion. Do we say we know that there's certain things? Let's say a chayva, a chiyuv on the bayis. Or chavas adot say mezuzah. You see the mezuzah? Who's chayv in mezuzah? The word was now, see?
Oh, it says he just doesn't have yomi. It is bo or lo or something like that. The name.
Who's also chayv in mezuzah?
Yeah, in the end.
It says.
But what was the chashash that it was only the man? Why do you think it was?
Because it's a hekesh. Don't tell me.
I think the person has like a zachar, lo or bo or something like that. Beitecha.
Yeah, but that was with Tumah.
I'm behind.
Also.
I'm almost a week behind that. Okay, now, but in any case, one is chayv and mezuzah. Now, okay, here's the deal. Is there the chayv mezuzah? Is it a chayv on you, or is it a chayv in the house? In other words, let's say you have, you have some weird kind of guy with a lot of crazy chumras, and you have a bunch of roommates, and the guy says, I don't want to be young. The guy puts up mezuzah. I know you're a crazy machmer and weird stuff. So you say I have a Sephardi roommate puts up a Sephardi mezuzah, and you say no. I want to put up an Ashkenazi mezuzah. The guy says I'm a Sephardi. This, Ktavari, Ktavari Yosef. I want Ktavari Yosef. You want Ktavari. So I'll say this. I have in mind. Also, they put up 2 mezuzahs. Mine it is. So that's not a good idea. Why? What's the thing to put up 2 mezuzahs? Baltos. So say this. I have in mind. I'm not yotzi with this mezuzah. What are you going to say about this time? I'm not yotzi with his, I'm not putting my own.
It's a chafetz on the bias, though.
That's retarded. Pardon the expression. Now, I mean, I can't do that. No, it's not a good word. Not politically correct. Bad svara. You can't say I'm not yotzi mezuzah. I'm using a chiyuv in the bias. It makes no sense. Okay? Other things you can say, I'm not yotzi on. I have in mind not to be yotzi. Let's say, saying a bracha, I don't know, there's different things I can say. I'm having in mind not to be yotzi. But I can't not be yotzi, doesn't make sense. What about Neiros Chana? So, it's a very complex question. Oh, very good. So let's say in the Gemara, Neiros Beito. So there's sort of a complex question over here. But, okay. There's sort of a
No, or you just
Okay, the question is as follows. The Rambam's option is a din b'chol bayis to bayis at a house. Steve, I was just talking about you before.
Really?
Even though they didn't realize what I was talking about. Talking about the bracha, mitzvah d'Rabbanan, maybe it's on mitzvah tzedakah. Remember talking about that? Okay.
This mitzvah tzedakah.
All right, we talked about that. Okay, in any case, so now we're saying like this, that perhaps the chiyuv of Nerot Chan is in the bayit. Okay? Now, if that would be the case, then once a bar chiyuva, someone who's chayiv lights in Nerot Chanukah, then it's irrelevant what level you're on.
If it's the chiyuv of bias, how could you do more than one person like?
That's a question. The answer is, just the obvious answer, because that's how the Chazal set it up.
Right.
They set it up in that way. But that's a question. Let's say you want to have it's a very interesting question, a very fascinating question. Let's say, like the case we talked about before, you're at work, and your wife wants to lie with the kids on time, and you come home and you want to lie. Can you lie with a bracha? So you're Yotze already. So that's a whole discussion. Some say yes, some say not. Some say yes, some say not. Why not? Because of this svara. You can't back out. In other words, different mitzvahs. You say, I'm not here to say Kiddush, whatever. You hear Kiddush and Shul, you say, I'm not here to be Yotze. That's okay. But here, it's a din in the Bay. How can you say, I'm not Yotze? I mean, that's what's takana. But there's a few svaras that say that one possibility is that you can not take from the mitzvah in some way. Because you can make it into a personal mitzvah. Or another possibility is, listen, the whole mitzvah, like you were saying, when the Chazal set up the mitzvah, they set up with different levels, Mahadrim, Manhadrim, all that stuff, right? So this is also, you can say it's Mahadrim, the mitzvah is also okay. The Chazal's a question, you say, bracha, oh my God. You came to Alon last year? Yeah. Good, beautiful. Okay. So the, can you say a bracha only on your mitzvah? The question Yeager has the question, it's not a topic so much. But he has a question. Let's say, listen, it's the last night, it doesn't matter the last night, it's some night of Hanukkah, whatever, let's say it's the 8th night, it doesn't matter. And still lighting the candles, 1, 2, 3, and remember, I didn't say bracha yet. Can you say the bracha now?
What if you have an esrog that's also more?
What?
What if you have an esrog that's, you make a bracha on one esrog, but if you get across another esrog that's more muhadr?
Good, very good question. There for sure you can't.
Can't.
Because there, you were Yotze the mitzvah totally. L'chora, for sure not. You're totally Yotze the mitzvah.
Even there's
over here, the Chazal set up a system
of Yotze the mitzvah. Because
no, that's the thing. You're Yotze the mitzvah, but it's a different kind of mitzvah. It's a Maisa mitzvah, which is a hitter. Over there, the Esther is more mahudr. So if you had a choice of more mahudr mitzvah or less mahudr mitzvah, so you would probably choose that one if you had a choice. If it's more money. But over there, the fact that you're totally Yotze, now you're doing the one l'chora you're not, because like it's no different. I think doing success in mitzvahs. But
you were Yotze, but that's saying the bracha.
All brachos in general, brachos are not makir. Brachos are not makir. If you put on tzitzit without bracha, you don't say.
But if you lit a candle,
you light a birthday candle. No, Donnie. No, Bemet. I don't think. Let's say it's your kid's birthday. You start lighting birthday candles. Say, oh, I have a mind that should be Hanukkah. You're right. You're not Yotze. I agree. But you have the whole menorah set up, and then you're also the whole thing, right? And you start lighting, you think you're not Yotze. Sure, Yotze. Forget
What about Kiddush?
What?
What about Kiddush?
What do you mean?
You make Kiddush once, you make Kiddush again for someone else.
Oh, that's something else. Very good. Good question. That's another din. That's Yotze Motzi. Now we have din of Arabut. If I make Kiddush at home, then I go whatever, then I go to an old age home, or I go to my neighbor who's infirm, or whatever it might be. I can make Kiddush for him, for her, whatever it is. Why? Because Rashi is a beautiful idea that as long as somebody else's mitzvah has not been done, my mitzvah is not complete. Okay? My mitzvah is not complete. Okay. So then, the Klichem, there's a second answer, which is similar to what you guys said before, what Danny said a good svar before. He says as follows. Even if we say the Nashim, the whole idea, even if we say that the mitzvah of the halal is Midrabbanan, which is the more normal way, you can say it's the right, that's a whole stretch with the Chatam Sofer, and even if it's, according to Chatam Sofer, it's hard to say it's exactly this halal, whatever it is, then still you can say why a woman shouldn't be chayiv the same as a man. Okay. For pursuing Nisa, we said the woman is chayavet in Kriyas Megillah, like we said, and by Chanukah there's a mitzvah of the Neros and Lahalo Lahodot. The Nero is not Zman Grama, or the Neros that you have to chayav is pursuing Nisa. So I got an answer over here. I got an answer, the original answer to the Binyan Siyam, who asked the question. The Binyan Siyam comes along and he says, listen, what you have here is the basic Chiyuv Halal was the original question, that a woman should be chayevet because Afein is doing this, right? So he says, listen, when the Chazal set up the system, they said, okay, the man has the Chiyuv Halal, has the full Chiyuv Halal. The woman, in order to express her halal, she doesn't have to say the whole thing. Therefore, the Chiyuv is a little bit is a lower level, and it's a little bit different. The other answer, more fundamental answer, that I saw based on the Emek Bracha from here, he wants to say that there's two inyanim over here. There's the Hallel, and there's the Hodod, and there's the Hallel, and we have the Nes Pach Shemen, and we have the Nes of the battle, right? So he suggests, very briefly, a long piece, that the mitzvah of Hallel is more an idea of Neitza Nitzachon, okay? He wants to say that the Shasanisi, perhaps the Hallel, is on the Neitza Milchama, and therefore the woman don't fight, then she'll be P'tura. And she's an example, as opposed to the other miracles, that they were threatened, and the other stuff that's going on, then
so lighting the candles, she is chayiv lighting the candles because she was part of that.
So I'm saying anything opposite. I mean, they weren't chayiv. It's like they weren't doing that.
They weren't chayiv love based on Mikdash. That's true.
It was all on this. No, in Pesach, what do we say? Why don't we? Which book I like about Haram? Why don't we say?
What Masay of Tommy?
No. Pesach.
Why don't we say Hal?
Why don't we say Halal, right? Because we should be all happy about our.
Masay Adai to them in
Yeah.
Medrash doesn't have it. That's what he's saying.
There's no differentiation between women and men.
Oh.
It was like a melchama. It was.
What Anson is saying there, so that Halal, we don't say Halal because of that, but I don't see why you see the Gemara.
No, just why do they separate between men and women by the melchama? The melchama was for everyone.
I don't remember if it says but the melchama is.
Something of Klal Yisrael, it's everyone.
True, but you have certain things, just like you would say by Mechias Amalek. The question is, that's the whole question, but the Chinuch says that a woman isn't chayiv in Mechias Amalek. Okay? And therefore, she's not chayiv in Zechiras Amalek. Because a woman does not do Parsha Zachar. Why? Because all I do Parsha Zachar is to kill a woman, and women don't fight. Right? Some kind of idea. Right. You say them. So, Shkari comes over here.